Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ether continues to move sideways here in this overall range, trolling the lower support area here around the yellow box. So we've got the 78.6 fib level here, to which the price reacted already twice, and we've got the 88.7% fib level a little lower at around 1450. These are the key levels really that matter, because I assume that here we are going to see quite strong support. It is not yet assumed that a larger turnaround is happening from here to new all-time highs, okay? Because at the moment the assumption is that a B wave topped on the 2nd of October and we are going to go down a little lower. At the very least, I'd like to see the price of around 1450 in this move to the downside, okay? That is based on Fibonacci extensions, but we can also calculate other targets. For example, there is a way to take the length of the A wave, then we go to the high of the B wave. And in this scenario, we could even look at a potential target of around, first of all, 1440, 1450 here. That's sort of that 88.7 fib level, 61.8 extension, or even down here, the 1-to-1 ratio around 1250. So we need to pay attention to the microstructure and we need to pay attention to a first impulse to the upside. At the moment though, the downside structure still looks very, very incomplete, and we only had 3 waves down into the latest low. That makes me assume that we should carry on with the downtrend, either more imminently with the yellow wave count, in which I see the move down as a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a very high wave 4, and a wave 5. This could also be interpreted in a different way. This could also be some kind of a wave 2, or even a B wave, depending on how I count the decline. In the end, they all seem to point to the downside. However, what I want to emphasize is therefore it doesn't make sense necessarily to try to decipher the most accurate micro count, because it just doesn't exist. There are just too many options at the moment in that, due to that sloppy price action that we've seen. We also have to be ready because of that for a potential larger bounce to the upside. I explained it yesterday to you already, that if we see strong support exactly in this region, but it would need to be in this region before Ether breaks below 1530 and before it makes a new low in this area, it is technically possible that we see a triangle count, so that this B wave actually unfolds as a triangle indicated by the orange lines before coming down. That would not change our assumption. It would simply delay the sell-off, okay? It would simply delay it. And we should also still come down lower. But at the moment, this is not very evident yet, but I start to see potential signs for that to happen. Potential signals and indicators due to the choppy nature of the price down there. So while ETH is quite weak down there, and while ETH should ideally come down lower more directly, which is the primary count, we always have to have an alternative, especially when we are very close to support, which we are at 1530, and especially if the price isn't really following through impulsively to the downside, which it's not, just coming down in some kind of a diagonal structure. And therefore we just need to be ready for potential change in wave structure. And the most likely one that I see that could potentially unfold, especially if we break above the B wave high that was made yesterday, that was here at around 1586, then we could see a larger bounce, if we see a break above that level, a larger bounce in an overall triangle, and then this B wave would just have not topped in early October, but it would be delayed and unfold as a triangle. A B wave can always be a triangle, a so-called ABCDE structure, and we would label it as follows: A, B, this would all be part of a C wave, then D, then E. You can see that could take a little longer. I think everybody wants to avoid it, but this is potentially interesting for a grid bot, to be honest, I mean, we are quite low in the range in terms of price, and launching a grid bot from here, maybe with a stop below the last swing low, is potentially interesting. I mean, I'm talking about this low around 1520 that was made, So a stop below that level, and then, I mean, the grid bot could potentially just eat up this range here, okay? It's not gonna go on forever, but there is at least a decent chance it could take a little while, and also we're quite low in the range. So potentially something interesting for a grid bot. But yeah, I mean, then it would be positive to carry on in the range, but it's just very, very boring what's happening at the moment. So yeah, these are the two main scenarios. Not much more to add really for ETH. The downside pressure remains, especially as long as we stay below that B wave high. And this is just micro resistance here, that smaller degree B wave high that I indicated at 1585, 1586. And yeah, but even if we break above it, it would not necessarily be bullish. It would just simply lead to a more, yeah, maybe short-term more bullish count, but it's not really bullish. It just means that we're gonna be in the choppy region for a little longer. That's my update about ETH. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.